Recap in minutes. In today's video, we will be enjoying a war drama film, entitled Image of the Victory. There will be spoilers ahead, chill out and enjoy. The movie begins with a narration of an Arab writer and filmmaker, Husnain. He is in the middle of a war in 1948 and his cameraman is taking real-life event footage. Everyone is chaotic and Husnain claims that when he first saw Mira, he felt an unknown connection. She was one of the people he would never forget in his life. He says that he knows she is his enemy, a Jew. Then, the camera zooms into Mira, who is smiling before death. The writer expresses that it was his moment of enlightenment, and maybe Mira realized it too. Mira then raises her gun and the scene shifts into the present, when Husnain is sitting disturbed in his chair as he listens to the news. He is against his leader and his ways of ruling, and he also calls him a traitor. Meanwhile, his wife enters the room. He shares his concerns with her and she reminds him of his glory. Moreover, she asks him to come out and have some dinner, after which she left. Later on, Husnain reminisces about the evening of 1947, when he was fearless. In the next scene, we see a New Year celebration in the year 1948. Husnain goes to a party where everyone is seen dancing. He then meets a man who tells him that the producer is waiting for him in the theater room. In the next scene, Mr. Amin, the producer, is seen smoking a cigar and reprimanding a man sitting next to him. Husnain then comes in and gets introduced to Mr. Amin. He tells him that Husnain has a great passion for cinema. Then, he goes to a place in heavy rain. He shows a pass to the guard and enters. There he sees Halef, the commander of the Arabs, who is motivating everyone to fight the Jewish, as they believe that the Arabs are the rightful owner of this land. Then Halef showed a picture of Kibbutz Nitzanim to everyone. Husnain claims that it was the first time he saw that place and a girl with a big smile lived there too. Later on, he explains that he will leave with his crew of Arabs to Nitzanim in order to shoot a war film. In the next scene, we see Mira, a Jewish woman working. She sees an approaching truck and followed it with her son Danny and greets Eliakim, Mira's ex-husband. He is with some other Jewish soldiers. The general of the Jewish army comes out and inspects the view. Later on, Naomi, a resident of the area, is asked to provide soldiers with some stuff. She does as she was told and is not liked by many of the soldiers. Then the soldiers left for their camps. In the next scene, the general comes into Mira's room and they both had a little chat, but they later got startled when some gunfire is heard at some distance. They ran off to the site with other soldiers and they see a Jewish man injured. They fired at the other Arabs, scaring them off. An Arab was heavily injured as the Jewish went near him. Mira revealed his face and saw a teenage boy. She asked to give him medical treatment. At night, as thunder was rolling, all Jews were having dinner in the dining hall. They all were discussing how unsafe it is for children to live under such circumstances. The doctor comes and tells everyone that the Arab kid is safe. Everyone feels good after hearing the news and started singing and dancing. Then Husnain and the cameraman are seen in a vehicle where they both discuss filming the war. The next morning, Eliakim comes to Mira and he tells her that he is leaving for some days, then he asks her to hug him. On this, Mira asks him to back off and remember that there is nothing like this between them anymore. She tells him that he is still important to her, but she doesn't have any feelings for him. In the next scene, the general asks the commander to add Mira to his crew as she knows how to operate a radio. Later that night in heavy rain, Mira meets the general outside her house. She invites him in and then started making the tea. Moreover, the general asks her about her radio. She says that he could borrow it, but Mira will go with it too then. He negates it by saying it is dangerous. Mira shakes off her head saying then the radio won't go with him too. The general leaves in anger and disappointment. Husnain is making a video as he films Halef. Later on, he films Salman's love story as well. He also captures Halim trying to devise strategies in front of Arabs. In the next scene, we see the general observing soldiers digging the tunnels. Then the soldiers are seen irritating Naomi, but she ignores them. Mira comes to the camp and tells the general that she knows that they are going to the duel today and that she needs to join them. She then informs him that she is going to take a bath. The general sends her off with other ladies and officers to the river. Mira fearlessly takes off her clothes and is kind of criticized for it too. They all enjoy bathing and talking. At the same time, the Arabs came towards the Jewish territory and started firing on a truck in which 2 Jewish soldiers were present. One of them shoots back. The Arabs killed them and took away all the food they had in the back of his truck. Husnain was filming it when Halef came and told him that the Arabs aren't thieves. Later on, the Jewish soldiers approach the truck and see their men dead and looted. Later that night, The general tells everyone that they need to strike back at the Arabs for their horrifying deeds. A dilemma is felt within the air. The commander enters the room and tells them that they will attack back. A teacher from the crowd says that this land belongs to Arabs. On this, one of the soldiers says that every land belonged to someone else at first, but then others come and claim it. Later on, Mira and Eliakim went to see Danny sleeping. Eliakim leaves by saying that he will be back in a few days. Hadassah comes in and Mira says that she should start working on a farm. The same night, Mira goes into the camp to fetch her radio. The general tries to make her understand that it will be dangerous for her to be in a war zone. She pays no heed and leaves. The general comes out and sees Mira in her window, changing her clothes. He was fascinated by her but immediately looked away. Later on, Hussein narrates that for 3 weeks he had nothing to shoot. He keeps observing the Jewish colony with his binoculars. Then his recorded movie goes to Amin, and he is shown the love story of Salman and Samira. Amin gets frustrated and tells him to tell Hussein to film the war. The next day, Hadassah went to work on a farm and the Arabs invaded the Jewish colony once again. Meanwhile, a Jewish soldier on the top observes them and reports to his fellow soldiers. At night, the Jewish soldiers went underground and hid. Hussein goes to Halef and asks him if he wants to join them in the war in order to shoot the best footage, to which Halef agrees. Both the teams prepared themselves for the war, and in the morning, Arabs began shooting. The Jews shot back and war emerged. Mira goes to the Arab colony with Jewish soldiers. She bravely fought the Arabs and planted a bomb there. As the bomb goes off, Halef asks everyone to retrieve it and go back to their land. Hussein films the injured Arabs in the infirmary. Moreover, he is thrilled to know about a Jewish woman who fought the Arabs with a single gun. He is kind of impressed. Later on, Halef comes to Hussein and tells him that he had painted Arabs as the villains. Hussein tries to clear it with Halef, saying that he is misunderstanding his intentions. Later on, Amin shows the new footage to the Arab general. They are not happy to see it. They get frightened and ask Amin to burn the footage. Moreover, they started training their army to make them go against the Jews within 2 months. On the other hand, Jews are also getting trained for battle. Myra's ex-partner cries in front of her and tells her that he is not okay with their separation. Now, May 14, 1948 is shown when Jews and Arabs are sitting in their respective camps, listening to the news on the radio. The President of Israel announces it as an independent state. Jews are beaming with happiness whereas the Arabs felt lamenting. Halef sees Hussein filming this sad moment, hence he grows furious and kicks them out. The next morning, the Jews witness an air bombing on nearby lands and they get scared for the safety of their loved ones. Then at night, all the Jews evacuate their colony, but Mira and her friends stay behind in order to fight for the sake of the land. Mira later contacts the army camp and is happy to know that everyone has reached there safely. The next morning, a Jewish soldier sees from a heightened place that several armed trucks are approaching. He rings a bell and alarms his people to stay attentive. These trucks didn't attack them and goes toward the Arabs. The people from the truck stayed at the Arabian colony for a while and then they leave for the war. Hussein and his cameraman also join them to complete their movie making. This is an Egyptian army and it gets defeated by the Israelis and is scolded for a cold defeat like this by the Egyptian leader. On this, the Egyptians join hands with the Arabs and they make a decision to camp with them right in front of the Jews. One day, a supply was delivered to the Jews through a helicopter. When they are about to fetch it, the Egyptians attack them but the Jews are successful in retrieving the boxes. After this, the whole Egyptian army starts advancing toward the Jewish colony. Hussein and the cameraman are also with them. In the midst of war, Mira sends an SOS to the army base, but the army decides not to help them, keeping in mind the current circumstances. After this, General and Mira come out to negotiate with the Egyptians and Arabs. Halef hears a gunshot and accidentally pulls the trigger, killing the general. The Egyptian commander gets startled by seeing this and he asks Halef to leave the place. Mira looks toward Hussein and smiles before putting a bullet in Halef's head. Halef's men shoot at Mira, thus killing her. After some time, a black and white movie is being played in a cinema house in which the remaining Jews are shown with their raised hands as they surrender. The President of Egypt is also added to the film later on in order to make people believe that he was also a part of it. 2 years have passed and both Arabs and Jews are seen liberating their slaves. After this, a scene of the present is shown when Hussein is in his room, smoking his cigarette. He goes towards a table and fetches a book. He opens it and finds Myra's smiling photograph. He looks at it with awe. His wife comes from behind and sees him watching her. She kind of gets emotional and tells Hussein that they need him. As she is about to leave, Hussein stops her and they both embrace each other while the camera zooms into his young picture of wartime. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.